Article 800.178 of the National Electrical Code addresses the separation of data and electrical cabling. This requirement is particularly important within power poles that supply power to office cubicles or similar workstation environments. The primary reason for this separation is to prevent electrical interference and ensure the integrity of data transmission. When data cables and power cables run in close proximity, the electromagnetic fields generated by the power cables can induce currents in the data cables, leading to signal degradation, data corruption, and even equipment malfunction. The NEC mandates physical separation to minimize these risks. The specific requirements of Article 800.178 detail the acceptable methods of separation. Firstly, the most common method involves the use of barriers or partitions within the power pole. These barriers are typically made of non-conductive materials such as plastic or fiberglass and are designed to physically isolate the data cables from the power cables. The barrier must be continuous and effectively prevent any contact between the two types of cabling. Secondly, another acceptable method is to use separate conduits or raceways within the power pole. In this approach, the data cables are run in their own dedicated conduit, completely isolated from the power cables, which are run in a separate conduit. This provides a robust level of protection against electrical interference and physical damage. Thirdly, maintaining a specific distance between the data and power cables is also an option. The NEC specifies the minimum separation distance required, which typically ranges from a few inches to several feet, depending on the voltage and current levels of the power cables. This distance ensures that the electromagnetic fields generated by the power cables are sufficiently attenuated before they can affect the data cables. When installing cabling within power poles, it is crucial to adhere to the NEC guidelines regarding cable types and ratings. Power cables must be appropriately rated for the voltage and current levels they will be carrying, and they must be properly insulated to prevent electrical shock hazards. Data cables must also be of a suitable type and quality to ensure reliable data transmission. Proper grounding is also essential for both the power and data cabling systems. Grounding helps to minimize electrical noise and protect against voltage surges, which can damage equipment and disrupt data flow. The grounding system should be installed in accordance with the NEC requirements, and it should be regularly inspected and maintained to ensure its effectiveness. In addition to the NEC requirements, it is also important to follow any local codes or regulations that may apply to the installation of data and electrical cabling. Local codes may have more stringent requirements than the NEC, and it is the responsibility of the installer to ensure compliance with all applicable regulations. When planning and designing the cabling system for office cubicles, it is important to consider the future needs of the occupants. The system should be designed to accommodate future growth and expansion, and it should be flexible enough to adapt to changing technology requirements. This may involve installing additional conduits or raceways to accommodate future cabling needs. Proper documentation is also essential for any cabling installation. The documentation should include detailed drawings of the cabling layout, as well as a list of all cables and components used. This documentation will be invaluable for future maintenance and troubleshooting. Regular inspections of the cabling system are also recommended to identify any potential problems before they become serious. Inspections should be performed by qualified personnel, and they should include a visual inspection of the cabling, as well as testing of the data and power circuits. Any problems identified during the inspection should be promptly addressed to prevent equipment damage or data loss. Furthermore, it is important to be aware of the potential hazards associated with working with electricity. Electrical shock is a serious hazard that can result in injury or death. Only qualified personnel should be allowed to work on electrical systems, and they should always follow safe work practices. This includes wearing appropriate personal protective equipment such as safety glasses and gloves, and using insulated tools. Before working on any electrical circuit, it is essential to de-energize the circuit and verify that it is dead using a voltage tester. This will help to prevent accidental electrical shock. Lockout-tagout procedures should also be followed to ensure that the circuit remains de-energized while work is being performed. These procedures involve placing a lock and tag on the circuit breaker or disconnect switch to prevent it from being accidentally turned on. In addition to electrical shock hazards, there are also fire hazards associated with electrical cabling. Overloaded circuits, loose connections, and damaged insulation can all lead to fires. To prevent fires, it is important to ensure that all electrical circuits are properly sized and protected by circuit breakers or fuses. Connections should be tight and secure, and damaged insulation should be repaired or replaced immediately. The use of fire-resistant cabling is also recommended, especially in areas where there is a high risk of fire. Fire-resistant cables are designed to slow the spread of fire and reduce the amount of smoke and toxic fumes produced. Moreover, proper ventilation is important for preventing overheating of electrical equipment. Enclosed spaces containing electrical equipment should be adequately ventilated to prevent the buildup of heat. Overheating can damage equipment and increase the risk of fire. Regular maintenance is essential for ensuring the safety and reliability of electrical cabling systems. Maintenance should include cleaning, inspection, and testing of all components. Loose connections should be tightened, damaged insulation should be repaired or replaced, and corroded components should be cleaned or replaced. Testing should be performed to verify the integrity of the circuits and to identify any potential problems. When performing maintenance on electrical equipment, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions and to use only approved parts and materials. Using non-approved parts or materials can void the warranty and may also create a safety hazard. It is also important to keep accurate records of all maintenance activities. These records should include the date of the maintenance, the type of work performed, and any problems that were identified. This information will be helpful for future maintenance and troubleshooting. In conclusion, compliance with Article 800.178 of the NEC is essential for ensuring the safety and reliability of data and electrical cabling systems in office cubicles. By following the guidelines outlined in this article, installers can prevent electrical interference, protect equipment from damage, and minimize the risk of electrical shock and fire. Proper planning, design, installation, and maintenance are all critical for ensuring the long-term performance of the cabling system.